This is the Newzchain Podcast, and today we are counting down our top 7 most inspirational questions from our recent episode. So, how has the competition been towards, Aether and Zeus in particular, both in the Indian market and globally? Like, who are your major competitors, and how do you plan, to tackle them in the near future as well?
So I'll split our major competitors into legacy companies and the newcomers, right? So legacy companies, they don't have a singular product, right? They have like 50, 100 other products associated with them, right? And what we were able to notice is that their level of innovation is very, very slow. It's very slow. It's not just that they are expensive, but with changing times they didn't adapt, right? So what we are noticing is people really appreciate that over the years what were the difficulties and what technologies have brought in, like for example in our mobile phones or in our digital therapy platform there is live session and remote session, so even if you are in different countries we'll be able to do that, and we are currently in different cities and we are able to talk, so these things, even though you're not thinking consciously about it, it is in your brain that why is this the same what it was 15 years ago, why have they not evolved, right? So this is something that legacy companies are suffering from, and something that that I would like to believe that we are focusing more on innovation and using latest technologies. So but because it's a medical device and trust comes first, so they still have a place in the market, and going forward I think if we keep on what we are doing right now and improvise on our shortcomings, we would be able to build trust in a lot of people, and this is the way that we are planning to expand. Talking about the newcomers, there are a lot of companies at a lot of different price points. There are companies who are cheaper than us, and then there are companies maybe they're in a different geography, so we are not there's not exactly some collision with us, but we are always aware of what's going on, right? What we are yet to see, what I think what I'm yet to see is a new company who can reliably build trust for a certain duration, right? So and that's actually a very beautiful thing that even they are innovating and they are getting a platform just like we wanted a platform, right? At that point, that give us some chance. Of course, there is a place for everyone, right? And if there is a lot of competition, I think that will keep us on our toes and won't let us relax like those legacy companies. And I would really want to as I said, our Aether digital platform, we want to build it as a platform where even other companies who are not even if they are our direct competitors or something, and if they are in the same industry but different products, right? We want to incorporate that, because the end goal is rehabilitation should be data driven, and we all have to come together to improve people's lives, right? So welcome everyone.
It's almost similar to what Apple did with their product. Their products were in the market. They did as you are also planning with new products. But at the end of the day, globally, they were known as Apple rather than their product itself. And through your service, I guess that has been pretty evident. And what we have seen is Ether is making a mark across the world. I guess your major markets are in India, US, and Poland, apart from other countries. So I would like to ask you, what's the major difference between the demand across all these countries?
The major difference is insurance scenario, right? Which I would really want. Like currently, none of the assistive devices, not just about bionic hand, but none of the assistive devices are covered under insurance, right? And I think government and its organizations are as per my understanding and my discussion with people in government and related research organizations, they are working to get it implemented really soon, and I think that would create a very big difference going forward, right? Giving people it will give them a lot of security, because it is just not that okay, I suffered an accident and now I'm I'm not in a hospital bed, but actually enabling people to get back to work, get their independence, right? So that will help them. So currently it is not in India, but it is in Europe and US, right? So that is one thing that changes the decision maker, right? Here a person has to because he has to spend money out of his own pocket, right? So and because it is it is a bit hard to imagine that how working with the bionic hand will be, right? So it becomes a tougher decision for them, right? And also where already the confidence rates are so low because of other products and legacy devices which are out there, right? So it becomes difficult for them to adapt something new and they have to pay out from their own pocket. But in US and Europe, it's a bit different, and not in Europe. Even in Poland, there was no insurance. They're just bringing it right now, and so a few countries where assistive devices are covered under insurance. That's where people really really can go a step further, right? And they can they're ready to accept and appreciate the differences that we're bringing, because they don't have to pay either way. So they of course they are also concerned because there is copay or something, right? So they are concerned about the cost, but not that much. So they are ready to accept the new things that we are bringing, right? And they're also ready to accept that okay, it's a new company, but they have built something robust. Let's give them a chance.
So when you talk about countries like India and Poland, where insurance issue is still prevalent, do you think affordability also plays a major hand while people are making such decisions?
Absolutely. And this is we have one slide in our pitch deck which has not changed for quite some years now, which is that so there is not just dropout rate is also a problem where you have purchased a product and now you're not happy with it and you have to you're not using it, but even adaptation is very low, right? And in that one of the first things is affordability, right? And we have amongst the contemporaries of Zeus, I can confidently say that we are one of the most affordable ones, if not the most, right? So affordability has always been our mind, but not with regards to money, but with regards to access, right? People should have an access to it, right, without having to compromise in quality, right? Because if let's say you're spending 1 lakh rupees instead of 5 or instead of 10, but you're not using the product, you're not using the full benefit out of it, or that is not solving your problem, right? Then even that money is waste. One of the first things which I which I like whenever a patient comes in direct contact with me, one of the first things which I ask them is that what are the primary goals that you envision you'll be able to achieve with the bionic hand, right? If and very truthfully, if they would be able to achieve it with substantial training with our Zeus, I tell them, if it is something that they won't be able to achieve it, sometimes the case is very difficult anatomically, right? Or we're not able to get signals physiologically or something, right? So if their expectations are too high, I tell them very outrightly that I don't think our product or any other product in the market would be able to solve your issue, right? That even spending a single penny on it would be waste, right? So affordability is at our core. We always think about it, but without compromising on any sort of quality, that always comes first, right? When they compare, like even when anyone asks for me to compare other products or something, right? I never mention the price. The whole pitch is over, and after the pitch is done, they come to me personally like, but actually how much should I pay to get these features and everything? And that's when I reveal the price, and they get pretty surprised that, okay, wow, right? So affordability is there, but it's in shadows. First thing is no compromise in quality. A person, even if he's paying a single rupee, should get value out of it.
That definitely shows like the way you guys have evolved in the last few years, especially post-COVID. And I remember from one of the last conversations, you guys raised another round in December.
Yes. So it got closed in October, November. Recently we had news, and so we raised $5.8 million and in the first tranche, and the second was $1.5 million from another set of investors. And this was so yes. And today was our management meeting, right? And we have had really good, good people in our team. Things that we were lacking, or things we think that we can still do better, right? And the conversation with them, right? We just had this thought that this time is the best time in the history of our company, right? We are secured regarding funds, because it is always it is always going on in the back of your mind that we are doing R&D, people respect it, but during that you have to burn some money, right, to innovate something. But this is the time that we have raised money, we have a clear path going forward. It could not have been better. Zeus in itself is able to do so many sales that that department, mechanical development, production and sales, Zeus money from Zeus can take care of that, right? So this is something that we have never been this secured before, right? So now it's actually the time to that we can actually flourish, right? Now is the time when we can all those things that we think that we left those loose ends. Now is the time that we can tie it, right? And build a really solid and robust team, so that it is not just dependent on individuals, but the team structure is so sturdy, right? That we are ready for any kind of unforeseen circumstances, right? Initially it was just like that. We can plan ahead, right? What these things can bring, and we have learned so much with the first with this first product, right? That moving forward we have those resources to have a foresight, and just create a bang going forward.
So, were there any major setbacks? So, this was your year 0, right? And moving towards year 1, we were talking about the investment that you raised within going back to the same investor after 12 months, right? So, did you face any major challenge, like while transitioning from running without funds and getting your first check, right, or first deposit of like your investment fund?
Yeah. Talking about like the first 12 months, like of course, shortage of funds was not big of a challenge. Thankfully, we come from privileged families. We could have always gone back to our parents and raised funds, but inability to raise funds raised a lot of questions that we are lacking something. So it was not that okay, like we don't have funds, how should we proceed? It was more like no one is investing. How can we learn from this? How can we learn from their feedback, right? So first year just went like that, like we took, we celebrated every setback, because when we were rejected in pitching events, we used to go a lot of them, right? And we celebrated even when we received some prize, right? So celebration was the same, because in everything we're like, yeah, we are learning. This is a learning experience, right? So we are getting something out of it. But after getting the first fundraise, that's when like what I said before, that's when everything sunk in, that okay, now we are responsible for someone else's money, right? Our parents' money were pretty chill, that okay, we'll blow that right? But now it's someone else's money. They have put faith into our company, into our vision, right? And this also proves a bit that this is something substantial, right? When a person who doesn't know you, who doesn't know anything about you, right, and who has just met you a few times and they trust this, that means this is something this problem is actually worth solving, right? So I think that's when that responsibility and everything just fit into place, that okay, now we have to take it seriously. And so just after we received that money and we started working, we realized that okay, it's not going to be that straight right? So the first fundraise was not that stressful, but the second one, after that, when we almost went out of money, right? And we had received a couple of grants by then, but so as I said, we had commitment, but we didn't have the money. So that was the period when we were doing things here and there just to keep ourselves occupied, so that from whatever we can learn, right? Just to do that. But yeah, those things were pretty stressful, because after raising the first round, we hired a couple of engineers as well. We didn't there was a 3 BHK that we had in Delhi, so one room and the hall was where we would work, and in 2 bedrooms we would just sleep. So it would just be sleep and work and sleep, everything like that. So when we ran out of funds, the same place, the people, when we had to break this news to them that I don't think we'll be able to manage, right? And for some time we did ask our parents, ask them for money from our pocket money and everything. We paid them whatever we can, but so that was very, very heartbreaking, right? That was very daunting. The same place where we used to work for the whole day and then have fun in the night and have crazy, that same place became a torture chamber, so to speak, because there were really good people who were ready to work, who would come to work without pay, right? Who believed in us that we would turn things around. And we had hopes from a couple of places. We had won grants. We just had to finalize that, because what to do next, right? So those couple of months were pretty daunting. But yeah, like somehow I don't know, I don't even know how, but somehow we managed to get a grant from Poland, and that gave a new beginning to our company. Yeah, new direction to our company.
My question was basically like, you guys manage your time, and like it, like you said. So initially, was it just you and Dhruv who were managing the funds and the research part, and how was that going? How were you managing your personal, like day-to-day funding and everything?
Yeah. So like, yeah, it was like it was just me and Dhruv, but pretty soon we realized that we lack those abilities, right? So so we hired some interns or engineers, initially mechanical designers who like mechanical engineers who also had some idea of how to do coding and everything. I learned to design like mechanical design by myself. Dhruv did some online courses. At that point, like we were doing like one course every 2 or 3 days from Coursera or edX, right? And initially the courses were paid, but we used to write like, this is something new. Please give us this for free, because we didn't have like any money, right? And and yeah, so we do courses, learn whatever is required. We just do a particular course about that. Okay, I think this is lacking at this point with this. I remember there was even a point where we were going to pitch, right? And we didn't have we wanted to have a video that explains our process, right? And I called someone online and I was like, can you make a graphic design or something? And they asked for 35,000 rupees, and it was like, come on, man, like we are college students, like, so so I saw online few videos and something, and I made something very bad, but I saved 35,000 rupees, right? so we made that. So this was how how we were managing. Regarding funds, Dhruv and I initially reached out to our parents, and we asked for 2.5 lakh rupees each, right, from them. And I think I've heard it. I've heard this at some place that initial people to invest in your startup are friends, family, or fools, right? So right, we got to our parents, and it's very fair as well, because they know that cracking med school was not that tough. So these are the people, if they are determined to do something, I think they'll be able to do. And I just told my parents very very blank that this is something that I want to do, right? For me, this is a lot serious, but for you, just think of something that maybe it's I'm not asking for a foreign vacation, something like that, right? So just give that, and and I'll make sure that something good comes out of it. And they were really skeptical of it, but I think now and now they might be convinced, I hope for that. And regarding studies, so yeah, we were studying a lot, but for the things which are required for the startup, right? How to build a pitch deck, electronics, mechanics, and everything. And regarding med school studies, so as I said, Dhruv dropped out in second year when we started. So he pretty much he's like, I'm not so much into it, and he went for business school. Currently he's studying for his master's in data science, what we currently require. But I made a promise to my parents that I'll complete med school at any cost. And also because I genuinely liked I was genuinely interested in what we got to learn in during med school and everything, but yeah, I'm not going to say that like the examination periods were not stressful. I used to panic a lot, and my friends would just go crazy consoling me, right?
We can proudly call like Aether like a proper Indian startup with the way your team has been working and like just the core ideology that you have, right? Something that I have noticed in recent times, or Indian hardware startups, they have a lot of difficulty in growing and like raising funds and just moving out into the world to make themselves a global product, something which Aether was able to do with Zeus. So what do you think can these startups do better, and something that you might like tell from your own experience that you did different, so like to achieving the success that you have right now?
Yeah. As I said, and regarding that lean startup book, right? That that we've made all the we have actually ticked all the boxes of the pitfalls that you should avoid in a startup. So we have ticked everything, right? And what will we do? But on the first page there was one thing that like all your sins will be forgotten if your product is good, right? And I think that's what has happened to us, that our product, not just use, but the whole concept of rehabilitation, we were so invested into it. And I think that was also one of the reasons why we maybe ignored or didn't have time for maybe marketing or outreach or something, this and that, because we were so invested in providing this this whole like proper rehabilitation journey to a person, to get to maximize on his or her potential. So my only suggestion, or like thing that I think I have learned is maybe there is a connotation that that because India is a price sensitive market, right? Then maybe we have to cater to, and to cater to that, maybe we can cut some corners here and there, right? But these are the things that won't translate in long term, right? If you just look at history of brands from India who are still present and people are die-hard fans of it, they're the ones who didn't compromise on the quality, right? Because like it's not just once, and like even though we want our product to be like first and last time you buy a bionic hand, it lasts your lifelong, right? But you have friends, and they will, even if you're not an evangelist or something, they'll know realistic difference that Zeus has brought in your life, right? And they'll know the realistic difference or difficulties that a certain product has brought in your life, right? And that's when maybe you'll lose your grip on the market, you lose your trust, right? So building trust, building a good product, right, and giving good service, I think that's when. And Indians are like, they're known to give great service. They're absolutely killing it in giving great service, right? And not just for any software products, but I think if you just translate that into hardware products as well, right?
If you want to watch or listen to the full episode, you can find us on all audio and video platforms out there. We release new episodes every Wednesday and Saturday. So subscribe and follow us for more updates and other fun releases.